Raw Take, everyone, the lifeline to your unfiltered media experience. We got our weekly guest, Rush Sanders, and we also got our co-host, D. Will. And, our show is to give our opinion on the current state of our country and, just inform people. Um, One of the things in culture today, in pop culture, Drew Brees and his statements on how it doesn't matter, no matter what, he's for he stands with the national anthem. He doesn't agree with players kneeling. And I just think that just goes to show how out of touch he is. And his other athletes are getting on him like LeBron. But I mean, I think Drew Brees is speaking from a place of privilege. Even some black athletes have to go through stuff like that, have to go through being harassed. And I think Drew Brees doesn't he's not privy to that. So he doesn't understand. So, and that money in him, it just takes him way out of the category. So I don't think he truly understands what that harassment means. And he talked about his grandparents. I mean, my grandfather fought in World War II, and he still felt very strongly on black issues. And I mean, he didn't hate America, but he looked at America side-eyed for what the country did to him.
I want to say this. If you are, here's the deal with the kneeling and the national anthem. A lot of people just move away from what Colin Kaepernick did. Okay, he was standing for something. It had nothing to do with disrespecting the honor of the flag or any military man. And if Drew Brees in 2020 cannot relate to why his fellow athlete did that, it just means that he's not related to what's going on probably even now. If you can't relate to what happened, what the reason why this guy sacrificed his career, and think about it, he sacrificed his career, and now we're kneeling. Now the police officers are kneeling. And so if Colin Kaepernick cannot even relate to that, I mean, and some people interject with the whole, my father was in the military. It had nothing to do. It has nothing to do with disrespecting the military. And before I go further, guys, listen. I'm glad to be here with the Raw Take guys, the Raw Take family. Listen, you guys have been cutting loose on this show. It has been a great show. But listen, those are my views about that. My grandfather, my aunt, my uncle. I know plenty of people that have been in the military. My wife, 29 years in the military. So what are we talking about? We're not talking about disrespecting the military. We're talking about standing for something that should have been done a long time ago. And that's kneeling for a purpose. And that's what Colin Kaepernick actually brought.
Wow, you said it, man. Kneeling for a purpose. That's what it's all about. And you have to understand the purpose in order to understand the gesture. If you don't understand the purpose, you would never get the gesture. So that's what I think that he needs to, try to dig and get an understanding of what the purpose is, what it means, and that would hopefully, educate him on why the gesture. Because I think that it's stupid to think, feel like it's disrespectful. Because actually, when you kneel, it shows a sign of humbleness and lowliness. You acknowledging something or someone that's higher than you are. So he needs to understand the gesture. He understand the purpose of the gesture, and I think that would give him some closure. If not, then we just know that he's not gonna get it.
Yeah. This is my thing. Cap got the whole kneeling stance from a soldier. He went to a soldier to figure out what was the most respectable way to protest? And the soldier was like, if you kneel. And so the whole notion of kneeling came from a soldier. So why is it so disrespectful to the military when he went to somebody who was in the military and they said this is the most respectable way that you can honor and protest. So that whole narrative of it being against the military is out of place. And like D said, it just shows that Drew Brees is just out of touch. He's just, and I don't think he will be in touch because I, this is so serious. Like Cap got blackballed. Like this is how serious it was. He stood up for what was right, and then he was blackballed. It was just like a regular average black person in America, it would happen to. They blackballed him, and now he doesn't have a job in the NFL. And you can't tell me that out of 32 teams, Cap was still not. He wasn't good enough. I think that's BS. In Houston, we had a protest. Very, very all around the country right now. We have protests going on, and so while we had the protests in Houston, I took it upon myself to go out there and stand for solidarity. I can't just be on here and voicing my opinions. I want to express it more than that. I want to express it more than just marching and protesting. But I definitely got out there and I wanted to see and experience the protest, not just what the media tries to display, because I do believe the media is lying about what's happening in most of these protesters. And you can see that it was nothing but passion and peacefulness and people of all different walks and colors coming together to stand against injustice. I mean, I don't see where that whole narrative, and I got into an argument with somebody on Facebook because they were like, "Oh, we saw what was happening at the Houston uh, protest," and I was like, "Well, bro, you clearly don't know what was happening because there was nothing but peace, love, and harmony there." I mean, at the end, unfortunately, at the end, it did turn kind of violent, but I mean, who's to say? Who's to say that was just the people?
Here's the deal. Houston, stand up. You guys did a great job protesting. This is history in the making. I have never seen so many people come, listen, just to look at that and see that it was people of all colors, that all races, just everybody down there. Houston made such a significant difference. It was a peaceful protest from what I saw. And not only that, we made history because it showed that our city could come together in unity and stand for something. And I was overjoyed that I got to witness that. This is history in the making. And let me say something about protesting. It's always going to be a couple bad apples in a bunch. There's always going to be a few that are not there for the right purpose, but we have to make sure that we're there for the right purpose. There's always going to be a couple people that's just there just to stir up the mess, stir up the pile, to stir it all up. So what I saw was Houston, 60,000 people that stood strong and they stood up. You know what I'm saying? And those people were out there basically saying, no, we will not have this. No, we need justice. And that's what it was all about. So I saw that the protesting was in Houston was great. It was phenomenal. Who could shine? Who could actually look down upon that? I mean, hey, it is what it is. So we did a great job.
I totally agree. I think that it was, I think they did good, considering uh, former protests that had been going on. Um, and that's what our channel is all about, promoting unity amongst people. Not It's not black, it's not white, it's not Mexican, it's people because we're all one people, and we have to start acting like we're one people. That means that all of us, no one's better than the next. We're all equal, and I think that this protest, especially a peaceful protest, definitely promotes, what this channel is about and what these shows are about that we're doing.
Exactly. It's
Now,
giving the
Mr.
real world
Thomas,
perspective.
Mr. Thomas, you were not there making a ruckus yourself, were you?
Oh no, no, definitely not. Definitely not. I
That
know I
wasn't
like
you, was it?
to no.
Okay.
No,
You
I
were
know I like
you you were peacefully protesting, right?
of course, of course. And
Okay.
guess what else? I had my mask on too. I was definitely there peacefully protesting with my mask. Actually at the protest, what I saw, some really great things that I saw there was people giving out masks, people giving out water. There was a lot of solidarity. Even though we're going through this coronavirus, we still have to think about. I mean, even though while we're protesting and stuff, we still have to think we're going through the coronavirus, and so we have to definitely protect ourselves. Definitely wear masks. There were people giving out hand sanitizer. There were actually people there registering people to vote. It was beautiful. It was it was just so much great stuff, and that's what's coming out of the protest. People people fighting, people getting their voices heard, and actual change. They are trying to implement actual change because after the protesting, what is going to happen?
Yeah,
We need to what is going to be the outcome of this? We need to get people registered to vote. We need people to organize. We need the next MLK, Malcolm X. We need those next future leaders to come out of this and be the voices to lead us through the future.
I want to say this, and you said some very important things. Protesting is great. And I'm so glad to see that it is cities and states around the country, around the world, globally, that is saying, no, this is not right. This is inhumane. This is what you think you can get away with, really? But we have to beat them up at the ballot box. We have to rush to vote. I saw D. Will wearing the shirt, the rush to vote, and that's really, guys, that's really what we got to be doing this year. We have to rush to vote for criminal justice. We have to rush to vote for change. We have to rush to vote to get the bad apples out of the office. Okay, so it starts with us protesting, being heard, taking a knee, the cops coming in solidarity with us as far as that, but it also starts with going to the ballot box and getting yourself registered to vote and getting these bad people out of office that just sitting there and making career moves and not making career changes. That's it.
yeah,
You have to vote this year. If you're protesting is only a part of the recipe. It's only part. The whole recipe is standing up, protesting, but also making sure you are engaged in a voting process to where people, uh, numbers don't lie. People do. And if the numbers show up, it's a different situation.
right. Just mentioning on the the reasoning for the protesting and everything that's going on right now. This George Floyd murder case kind of just sparked a whole new era in like society because this is like worldwide and not just United States but worldwide. And it today I was thinking about the whole ordeal. You know how the protesting is going on, which is good. I'm not against the protesting. I think that because we have that right to stand up for what we believe in. However, and this some of you may not agree with this, but when a black person kills another black person, there's no protest. There's nothing. It's like that's the normal. And then when a white person, now I understand the frustration because this white person just has to happen to be police who's supposed to what protect and serve the community. At the same time, the a lot of the tension is deriving from the fact that not only is he a cop, but he's a white cop. Now it makes me wonder if this had been a black cop doing this to a black man, what would be going on? How would the world, how would the society take that? What response would we have been getting had this been a black cop killing a black man in the exact same manner, um, would there be protests? Would there be so much hype that even the coronavirus became secondhand news? Um, so it makes me wonder. It makes me think that if we can't stop the black on black crime, why do we expect to be able to stop the white on black crime, or should I say the black on black I mean, white on black violence, police brutality, and all that? What do we have to stand on to make the other side see our point and where we're coming from when we can't even stand together to make the point? We don't have nothing to really stand on if we're killing each other because I feel like if we can kill each other with nothing being said, then I think that the police could feel the same way. Oh well, they're killing each other and it's just yesterday's news. So if I do it, then what could they say?
It never gives a police officer has a duty. We have our own problems in our community. Of course, from gangs to uh, young black men killing other black men. Of course, we have our own problems in the community that we have to get through, that we have to be united on, and we have to take seriously, and we have to come up with some solutions. But at the end of the day, when we call the police officers, their job is to do one thing: protect, to serve, and uphold the law, and that's it. It is not to hunt you down as prey and kill you in the streets and let the buzzards get after you. So this is what we've been going through for so long. Uh, I mean, I can't even name the countless names. It's so many names that I can just throw out there, from Trayvon Martin, Tamir Rice. I mean, there's just so many people senseless. So I understand what you're saying, and we in our own community, we have to start to make some solutions as far as how we come together, how we curb our anger and not want to kill each other, not want to shoot each other. So we have our own things, but when you have law enforcement that's taking us down, then now it's a whole bigger issue at hand. Now people are you got some people that are afraid to call the cops now because they don't know, what should I call the cops? Should I not call? It should never be a second nature to call law enforcement if they're here to protect and serve. You want to be able to say, you know what, I'm calling the laws because they're going to handle this. But if you call the laws and they're coming to beat you up and throw you and knee you and everything, people are terrified right now. Black men and young women, they're terrified to even think about even just getting stopped on a ticket if they ran the light. I digress. It's such a fearful moment. If a cop car gets behind you, you're like, what do I need to do in this moment? So I understand, but it's police officers killing us time after time. It's just enough.
I feel that we should not. Okay, you know how there's like some areas in like your city, in our city, that you just don't want to. You feel like you don't want to get caught in, because there's like really bad areas or whatever. That have that's in pretty much every city. I think that um, us coming together as a people, we should be able to not feel so threatened by our own people. Uh, because I just feel like that promotes or gives some sort of unjust justification to the police to treat us the way we treat each other or worse.
Yeah, but I just feel like that I don't we don't you don't see cops shooting white people because there's white on white crime. I mean, statistics show you are more to have a crime with someone like in your community, which is basically what you're made of and what you look like. You are more apt to have a disagreement with someone in your same community than somebody of a different race. So that whole narrative of, oh well, we have to the black community can't. Well, you don't say the same thing about the white community. So, and like Rush said, I think it's up to the it's up. You call the cops to uphold the law, and to protect and serve. If I can't call them to protect and serve, then who am I going to call? Honestly, I'm more fearful of a cop shooting me than any other person shooting. I think I don't know what's the statistics on that, but I just feel in my heart that I have a better chance of a cop shooting me than another black person shooting me.
Yeah, and that might be true. I actually kind of feel the same way, especially now. Um, I just think that we need to promote more unity amongst ourselves before we expect other people to be unitized with us as well. Um, because if you have no structure, if you have no unity within yourselves, then it's kind of hard to present that to someone else to unitize with us as well. Um, and you mentioned about the white, you don't see some you said about white on white crime because I mean that
Yeah,
exists too. But the white people stand together more than black people do. Um, and that's just the fact. They stand together
yeah.
more than we're more against each other. One person may be trying to get higher or richer than the next person instead of us putting together, bringing each other up. And that's it. It happens, man. And I think, and don't get me wrong, I'm not trying to justify the police brutality against black people, but and I'm not trying to say that it's right in no shape, form, or matter at all. Um, but what I'm trying to do is also look at this thing from kind of more like from within, because I grew up seeing I grew up and seeing or hearing about a lot of stuff that amongst our community, the black community, that showed me how broken our community us we are as a people um, in the black community, and it's like we want everybody to treat us this way and that way, but we can't even treat ourselves that way. And that's the problem that I see. And I think that if you got other people on the outside looking in and seeing this, then how do you think they're going to treat us? How can we expect anybody to treat us different when we can't treat ourselves right?
I understand that, but still, you can't deflate that with someone who's in power, who's supposed to. Like that's just that the cops, they are supposed to protect and serve. And I know the black community has its issues, but so does every other community. I mean, does that mean that are their lives seen as less than? No, the cops treat them perfectly fine.
Right, they do. But why is that?
That does not give you the right just because me and this fellow or has gotten into it. That does not give you a right of someone that. And here's my thing: when you carry that badge and carry that gun, you are you are in power. You have authority. You're
Yeah.
riding around with authority. So that means that you're parading around town. To your whole mission is to make sure that you can uphold the law, that you can protect people. You can get out there if you see a bad guy that's doing wrong, rob and kill or whatever. You're supposed to step in. So police officers are putting their life on the line. And let me just say this: I respect the good ones that come out and do their job every day, and they get to go home with their wife, mother, kid, whatever have you. But the ones that are looking, you have cops, and I don't even want to get this deep. You have cops that are looking for ways. They're looking for ways to take down, to kill, to humiliate this black man. And you see it time after time after time after time after time again. So just because me and this guy had a fight or whatever, it doesn't give you the right to kill me. What
Right,
it gives you the right to do is to protect this community, put the bad guys away, do your job, keep going, and go home and do it all over again. That's it.
right. So
Bro,
you guys, my thing was that what I'm really getting at is you have to lead by example. If you can't be an example for what you're trying to promote, then you can't expect people to follow.
yeah, true, but I feel like a lot of cops come into these things with bad intentions. I don't know if we have the clip, but we have audio of New York police talking about how they want to shoot protesters, beat and bash protesters, and just do us basically harm when we were peacefully protesting. So I think with the cops coming in with the wrong mentality, with the wrong mind, with the wrong mindset already, how, it's a system set up to fail. So from the protesting guys, we have gained a lot. We have gained a lot of traction, and that's what's really good about this movement. That the protesting did do something. In the
Yeah.
case of George Floyd, all four of the arresting of the officers are being charged. Derek Chauvin he's being charged with second degree murder, and others are being charged with second degree murder to accessory. So this is great news. This is what protesting does. This is what's getting out that we are being heard. We are being heard. I mean, some people want a little bit more, but just that we are having this kind of effect on the justice system and that they had to put uh, Keith Ellison as the attorney general, make him the special prosecutor on this case. This is we're being heard. This is what democracy, this is what our protesting is getting us. It's getting us little step by step. The next step is voting and putting new people and other people like Keith Ellison and other great candidates, in the office. But it's all about getting your voice heard and them seeing that we are not afraid to get out there to fight basically for our rights.
Yeah.
A
Yeah.
conviction is what we want. A conviction is what we need. I want to say that, uh, when I heard that they had charged the other officers, and they charged him with, what was it, second degree murder. Chauvin was second degree murder, and they also charged the other officers with aiding and abetting in a murder.
Yeah.
And you notice that, Ben Crump, the family's attorney, spoke earlier today, or was that last night or today, about uh, the change that had to come about as far as arresting these other officers. That's what they were looking for, and the fact that they did that now. Now it's time to really hold these guys to the highest regard of the law and prosecute them to the fullest, because a conviction is what we need. And I think that with this case, this particular thing with George Floyd, I think if it's done right, if it's prosecuted right, and all I's are dotted and crossed, I think this may be a start of a change happening, but it also has to affect change in policies, right? The lawmakers, legislature. But I think if you can do this right, we get this right, this one right, I think that you can finally see some things starting to take place, because this one right here, well, it was totally different. And the fact that they went and then they arrested these guys today, but it's still going to be months. This is not going to be an overnight type of thing. It's going to be months. It's going to be a fight, and it's not going to be easy. It's not going to be easy. It's not going to be a TKO, because it's not going to be easy. But this is a start of where we could be, right?
Yeah. I was pretty pleased to hear about the arrest of the other three officers and the charges as well. Um, and I believe that that's the beginning of justice being served. So, like as you said, yeah, we're being heard. And I don't when I say we, I don't mean the black community. I mean all the people who stood against police brutality against black people, because the police brutality it didn't go to murder, but it did extend past the black community. Because we've seen some, some other races just like getting treated bad, and you know, with that being, with seeing that people being treated like us and they still standing with us,
Yeah.
we know for sure that they're with us, and that means that that unity that did happen did make an impact, and that shows us the power that we have as a people when we come together, which means that we can come together on just about anything and make a powerful, powerful impact in our society today. And that's what we want to continue to promote on our channel and in our everyday life is to promote that unity, promote the powerful impact that we can have when we come together as one people, like our Constitution says we are.
Mr. Williams, I don't really like you that well. Just wanted to tell you that. I understand that you're talking about unity, but I really don't like you that well, okay?
Yeah, I was asking Mr. G and Thomas, why did we even have you on the show? But we feel sorry for you and went ahead and added you to the show.
I think this is good, but I feel like we are missing the other, like, this is good for the George Floyd case, but what about Breonna Taylor? What about Ahmaud Arbery? What about the countless other cases, Sandra Bland? The cases that happened years ago. What about them? You know, this is this is this is what we did for his case. What about those other cases? I
Yeah,
would
I'm
like.
hoping that what we did for his case, this impact that we did make, I'm hoping that it created such an impact that although we nothing's been said about those cases, but we do know that the three people involved in the murder of Aubrey was also arrested and charged, right?
Yeah,
They
yeah,
were, right? So I mean, I didn't hear anything about Breonna Taylor, but I'm hoping, and we're hoping that the impact that we have made is powerful enough to where it would go beyond the George Floyd murder. That it would go, beyond the Tom, Dick, and Harry that may have been killed this day or that day. That it would go beyond it and be a lasting impact on like any potential future police brutality. I'm just hoping that this kind of just kills the whole vibe, man.
We need justice for all. And
Yeah,
it's still unclear. I mean, those people, they did not get justice. They just get, only thing we have of them is a memory etched in stone that they were just another innocent person life that was taken. And it's unfortunate that we're having to fight so hard in this moment, in this particular case, in all other cases that have came before him, had no justice has been served. So I'm hoping this can actually turn the hands of time, and we can start to actually do what needs to be done, which is criminal justice reform. That's what has to happen, and justice for all on all standpoints. That's
Yeah.
what has to happen. Going, even if they give these people the highest of whatever, each case has to be treated as so as far as justice and what that looks like.
I'm
In
gonna
this,
say this though. We have to remember, guys, we can't win them all. We can't win them all. We're not going to win them all, and that's just the reality. We have to come into realization is that that's just how it is.
yes,
We're
we
not gonna win
can
them
win
all.
them all. We can
We
Yeah.
can.
we can win them all. If it's injustice in every case, if it's 50 more, we can win them all. If it's total pure injustice on any level, we can win them all.
That's a
Period.
big
Because
maybe. I disagree with that.
injustice, yeah, injustice here is an injustice anywhere. We have to, we can't let stuff like that fly by. I mean, especially like I
Uh,
said, we're trying to be number one. We're America. We're supposed to be number one. So therefore, our justice system should be number one. We shouldn't. We can't. we can't go into the negotiating room with, well, we'll cut it off, we'll cut it half at 50%. No, we want no we want no injustices at all.
So in saying that, that made me believe that we need to just kind of back up some, go back to all those other cases that didn't get justice, and reopen them.
I think that would probably be a good idea. That would be I think that would be a great idea
Because
because
at this point, we if we don't do that, like I said just a minute ago, we're not gonna win them all
that's
unless
true.
unless we dig in and make them dig in. We're not gonna win them all. We can try our best to win the future ones. Hope that there don't be any, but we can win those that come in the future. But and the now, but those in the past, there's a good chance they're just gonna be swept under the rug.
Well, that's
The,
that's
the
not
George
that's not
Floyd case,
that's not
the
fair.
George Floyd case took flight. When the George Floyd case took flight, because of the magnitude of this murder and how it took place, where it took place, and everything. When it took flight, it kind of just left behind the Breonna Taylor, even the Ahmaud Arbery's and all the others that came before that. It kind of left them on the ground. And the only way we're gonna, like I said, the only way we're gonna win them all, yeah, we have to go back and reopen them. And then
Yeah.
what is that gonna cause? Is that are we gonna be starting all over with all of the chaos that has happened? Or I think that the current situation, is being handled. We are being heard. I think my take on this whole thing is not so much as looking backwards because we don't live in the past, but moving forward with a whole new plan, a whole new outlook uh, on behalf of from the police department as well as from the people, and just handling everything that happens from now on differently.
Yeah.
Uh, a little bit more delicately because for one, you can't go back and change the past. And what are the chances of them reopening the case?
Slim to
Come on,
none.
come on. We already got this right in everybody's face. So what's the chances of going up to bring this up all over again to blow up again even worse probably than this one? So my thing is, man, go forward and try to make it right from this day on.
Yeah. Have y'all heard about the George Floyd challenge?
I heard
Not
only a little bit about it, but you can explain that to me more because I didn't really get it. So yeah, tell me about that.
So one of our raw takers brought this to my attention, and it's a challenge that people of privilege, we're not even gonna call it out. We're gonna say people of privilege, as we all know. They are reenacting the George Floyd murder. They are acting like someone's George Floyd, and the cop is like standing on their neck, pretending that they are dead. Now we would show images, but I mean we're not trying to promote that kind of hate and promote that kind of nasty negativity, so we're not going to even show that. But just the fact that someone would think that it's okay to even reenact this or make this or try and make fun of this or just it
Is
just
that what?
goes that's basically what it is just to make fun of it.
I thought that maybe they were trying to demonstrate how wrong it looked or something. So I
Oh
had like,
no.
oh, it's mockery.
Yeah, it's mockery. Yeah, they're making a mockery.
I didn't
Like
know
most
that.
of the kids in the pictures, they're laughing, they're smiling, and I'm like, a man lost his life because of that. And you think it's funny? You think you're gonna make a internet meme challenge out of it? That's
Wow, that's the kind of world we're in, man. But
it's
that's why we're struggling right now to make a difference.
yeah,
Um,
man.
I had no idea that that's what the challenge was. I thought that like I said, I thought it was just kind of a reenactment of, kind of demonstrating how brutal or senseless it actually was. But I
No,
would
no.
forget that they were making mockery of the man getting killed. It doesn't matter, black, white, purple, green. what the man color was. He's still a human being getting killed, and no human being getting unjustly murdered should be made mockery of. I mean, what if it was you? What if it was me? What if it was, your mom, your dad, your uncle, your brother? Would you want someone making fun of them? No.
No, man. So that's our show, guys. We always like to thank Rush for being our weekly guest, always giving his raw take.
Thank you
Y'all,
guys so much. Thank you guys so much for having me on the show. And Mr. William, was that a mask?
Um. Yes, sir. I want to say, while all the protesting is going on, guys, please, we cannot forget the main issue that's at hand. The coronavirus is still at large, and unfortunately, it's taking more lives than the policing. So, guys, be sure in all your protesting and moving around and bouncing here to there, going to stores, talking to your buddies, be sure to still practice the safety guidelines because they are still in effect. Wear your mask.
you
Wear
heard
the
it here,
mask,
guys.
guys. Wear them. And social distance as much as you can. It's
Yeah,
when you
yeah,
protesting, you really can't, because you might on somebody. We want peace. And you're like, oh, no corona. I mean, it's not. I mean, you just can't do.
yeah,
Wear your mask. Wear them. Protest
yeah.
Sanitize.
peaceful
Listen,
Sanitize.
my name is
and safe.
William, and I approve this message.
There it is.
Y'all don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe.
Yeah, guys, we just being silly. Humor is good, laughter is good for the soul. Uh, so yeah, kill that like button, and hey, look, guys, we need you guys to give us support. Um, we need your support. We have some things going on, so we definitely need your support, and we appreciate all of the current raw takers that we have that's in our clan, our current subscribers. We're going to continue to bring you guys content. We're going to continue to bring you guys uploads no matter what. So
No matter
be
what.
listeners. Yeah.
Y'all be good.